If I want to start seeing the effect of the raindrops, I need to increase the size of the strands represented by the spawn particles. So if I wait here long enough, there we go, we'll capture a helpless little splash there, and you can see that it looks like you can almost barely see it. In fact, if we were to move over to the spawn on collision compound, there's an attribute called size that is a single scalar value that will control the size of each of these strands. So if I access the size and increase the size, we won't see the value right away, so I'll just resimulate. Just need to rebuild the ice tree, so I'll just jump back to frame 0. And we'll just pick this one up right here. We definitely start to pick up the strands. So it's a matter of controlling the size to be able to get the fill, or the amount of detail you need to shade the effect. If you increase the thickness of the strands, you can get enough overlap to create all kinds of sinusoidal profiles. So you start to get the idea. One of the problems you start to see, though, is that as we're thickening up the strand, we're also thickening up the raindrops. So that's something we're going to have to control as well. And this is where we're going to start to use the idea of state IDs to manage different strand sizes and strand lengths. It's going to involve us having to rebuild a little bit of the functionality in our ice tree. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to build two branches that determine whether or not particles are in one state or the next. I'm going to start by taking the bounce off surface and kind of move it back and out of the way a little bit. I'm just going to make some room for everything here. I shouldn't really be afraid of wide open spaces. I really do want the add forces to come at the end of my graph, so I'll kind of move it down and out of the way here. And I'm going to build my two strand trail branches in between the bounce and the adding of forces. First place I'm going to go is to get a conditional node. So I'll start off with an if, and I'm going to need to query this twice. And I'll get the state ID from the particle getters. And I'll compare whether or not the particle state ID is equal to 0 or 1. So we need two equals nodes. So if I look under Tool, Comparison, we'll find the equals. And in this case, I'll say state 0, or in this case state 1. And it might be a good idea to just put a little comment box in here so we know which one is which. So this would refer to state 1. Okay, so test for that, and we'll test for that, and then we'll execute if true or if false. So let's continue to build on these branches.